Really?
I gotta stretch my dough.
I didn't realize it was going to be in your lap. That is super
I have a friend. His name
It's a he?
is Sourdough.
It's a he?
Yeah, it's a he.
Is it that
Sourdough
obvious?
is not a female loaf.
Really?
I don't think it is. Le pain.
What?
Le pain.
Yeah. Okay.
Masculine.
I accept.
But I don't know what sourdough is in French.
It's likely to contradict the gender of bread, right?
Why?
I don't know. It just seems like unnecessarily chaotic to do that in a language.
What is sourdough? People? No. Because I bought it,
Oh.
obviously. I have no idea.
This is like when I was trying to remember enogi or whatever.
What are those little
I
mushrooms?
think enogi.
You might be right.
I think
It
I
starts
had
with
unagi
I.
yesterday.
Yeah, enogi. You might be right. There's this bakery I love in Montreal. What the hell is it called? It's a name. I forget. It's on Saint Laurent. And it's really popular all the time. Like there's usually a lineup outside the door all times a day.
Mm-hmm.
But so they're like, there's pressure to get it out. It's probably a lot like New York bakeries are probably a lot like that. And it's all French. And I speak French, but not like fluently. And it's always like, what kind of bread do I want? And I like barely know what the hell all the different things mean. So I'm just like taking a wild guess. I'm just like, yeah, I hope that's what sourdough is or whatever.
You don't Yelp the shit out of it before you
Yelp it
Yeah.
of what to order. Montreal
Just like
also is.
anything.
I don't know if Montreal is. So Canada can be weird for Yelp, by the way. Like, it's catching on, but it was slow to move there. And also in Montreal, I don't know. I guess Yelp is more of a English app.
Is it?
Usually everyone on the Yelp app seems to be a tourist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I imagine you can. I mean, it would be a really stupid business model if it was only in English.
Yelp?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, when you've gone traveling, do you use it? Like, do you use Yelp?
Yeah, I have used it.
Yeah. And like, Europe.
I've seen
or
comments in
Australia,
other
New Zealand.
languages.
Yeah.
But in terms of the app itself, I'm not sure.
I think it's becoming more and more popular, but for a long time, it's just way less reviews. Way less. Like Toronto, it's like there's 5 reviews for a place that's been legitimized. And here, if there's 5 reviews, that's really strange.
Yeah. You know the Yelp for people thing idea
Yeah.
that someone had and then was like, oh wait.
Right. We can't do that.
I think the oh wait was wait, but I don't want to be on it. Or like it was something so stupid. Like these people created this, like went through the creation
Whoa.
of doing this. Yeah, why are the details so faint? And I want to say it was a woman and a couple of people, but I think there was a woman who shortly after launching it, like wanted to stop because she got a bad review. Like it's something like that. And I was, and one of those things that you're like, how did you not think about that?
So crazy. It would be so crazy because, and I mean, I guess Yelp is already true for this. I mean, if some random person just felt like giving a bad review to someone because they're in whatever mood.
Mhm. There's both sides of the coin.
It does, like, it says a bad review actually, no, it doesn't say more, but it says equal parts about the person, potentially. It says a lot about the
Potentially,
person
for sure.
writing it. It says a lot about the person writing it.
Sure.
But in that kind of venue, you think it's all about the thing that's being reviewed.
Not always. You can't tell the people who are like just being a pain in the ass. But I suppose it's just.
I'm always amazed at those for some of the things. I'm not talking about when people write like a page review of just I'm like, this apparently was really upsetting to warrant that level.
It's an expression of the feeling. So it's functioning in that way that like now it's out. And it's a way of telling somebody who normally wouldn't be listening to you.
Mhm.
You know?
So now it's going to affect that person's business.
Possibly.
But
everything does. Like word of mouth affects your business.
No, okay.
And again, if you're a business, like you have to be open to people thinking whatever they think about your business.
Mm-hmm.
No one's obligated to like your business.
Right. It's not that new. It's just now it's like much more outstretching. Like,
I feel like it's all kind of the same shit at the end of the day because it feels like most of the Yelp reviews that I personally look at, there's going to be some people who are like 5, and there are going to be other people who are like none. If there was 0 stars, I would give it 0 stars. I'm pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much. I guess I take it seriously, but not on like a micro person-to-person level. More on like the general consensus once the numbers are high. You feel like it's really personal?
I think it leads people astray.
In what way?
And I mean it in both directions. I'm thinking of the hairdressers again.
Which hairdressers?
I'm just thinking of my like hairdresser job.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And like I was scouring Yelp because I thought that like would protect me in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And even, I think it does lead me astray a little bit because I tend to go with like, well, just like what has the highest ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And a person can have high ratings for all kinds of reasons, and it might not have anything to do with what I need.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got like burned by a bunch of hairdressers who all had like amazing reviews.
Yeah.
And it didn't work for me. And
you should be a proponent of the negative review because you're fully filling
I guess
out the
I
picture.
just feel like it doesn't actually mean anything about the person or the place.
You don't think people's opinion of a place means anything about the place?
Potentially not.
Potentially, of course.
Yeah.
But it's not like disjointed from.
Yeah. It's just you might lean too heavily in one direction. I think it's really interesting that like you actually don't seem that caught up by Yelp reviews at all.
I mean, I use Yelp constantly.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's more like to find a bunch of things and then make my own decision based on.
But then you make your own.
Else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true that I won't go to a place that has like multiple reviews and it's only like one thing. But I feel like you can find people who run the gamut on pretty much every thing. So it almost like it's a given that someone's going to have hated it, and it's a given that someone's going to have loved it.
Yeah.
But like, where generally are all the middle things?
Like,
where's the median or whatever?
When you found Lauren, did you find her through Yelp?
I went on the internet. So I probably like looked at something through Yelp, but I got randomly placed with her.
Right.
Once I decided to go to Heroin, and Heroin, I decided to go to after more research than just Yelp. Like a couple of articles, a couple,
Yeah.
And there was something that I liked about the vibe of it,
Yeah.
the energy of it.
But then you got her just randomly.
I got her randomly, and then I just
Yeah. See, and I guess like that's kind of what I mean. Like, and then she gave you the best haircut you've ever had in your life, I think is what you said. And even like when Evan went to go see
Sal.
Yeah, it's Sal, not Saul. Sal. Right.
No, it's not Saul.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone?
I think I looked him up
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just kind of used to looking people up now. And he's definitely on Yelp, but it's like a smaller number, and you didn't find him through Yelp.
No.
Exactly. Ray, you didn't find. Like, all of your people, it seemed kind of, they've just shown up in your life.
I know, this is
And thank
this
God.
is connected to the thing of like, I have the best
Yeah.
everything.
But there's something really to the fact that you don't go with like the general consensus. You're not like, hey, internet, tell me where to go.
I mean, I'm informed by it, but
And even I did look up Robert, and I could not find him really. And my first instinct was like, well, that's weird. And like to almost not trust him because there's not an online presence.
oh, weird.
Like, I'm like, oh, well, I can't read about him. I can't read about someone else's experience, even though I've heard someone else's experience. Like, yeah, I can't get like a star rating or see a bio or something.
I'll give you stars.
Therefore, I'm
5.
Okay, great. Therefore, it's like not legitimate in some way. Like it hasn't been vetted enough.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's
definitely am
stupid.
nothing like that.
Right.
I don't. It would never occur to me to look up somebody that I like, that I incidentally like. Like I've never looked up my own hairstylist on Yelp to see how many other people think she's great. Because I think she's great.
Right, exactly. It's looking for like confirmation from other people to tell you whether you should like a thing or not.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I like that. But I also think it's something that I did grow up in, like pre-internet and smartphone. So I think maybe it's possible. And the only reason anyone knows anything in India is because somebody told you.
Yeah.
There's no street sign, like there's not no street signs, but there's kind of no street signs. So like you would never know anything about anything unless someone just told you. So I think I'm used to going on one person's review.
Right.
If it's someone that I'm like, okay, I have reason to think that I might agree.
Yeah, it's weird. Where like I will get one person's review and be like, but let me go check all these strangers what they think.
It's very strange.
You know, I don't like it.
It's very strange. I have no idea what that means. Like what it might be about. Because the other thing I'm very conscious of is because I don't like necessarily agree with most people on almost anything. I think I'm used to being in a minority thought group category. So when I am on Yelp, I assume most of those people I wouldn't agree with.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like this person seems like a downvote with that person. You know. So it's also like there's like color commentary coming in, like there's other information.
Yeah.
And so if someone writes, like I like the way someone's written, for example, and their review is low or high, I'm like more likely to put more weight on that. But there's all kinds of fascinating social research around this.
Yeah.
Sociological
Like
research.
I'm even just thinking of like Amazon. It totally changes how you buy things, how you find out about something. Like I just can't not look at reviews now. And it really does like make you doubt yourself and look to the masses. shall I rise?
So do you give everyone an equal? Are you like all of these people are equal units? They all equal one.
I'm mystified by people who write reviews in the first place. Seriously.
I could see why that is.
Like, what is your
They're being hood.
They're being hurt. Right. No wonder I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't understand.
Don't
what's
give your
happening here.
opinion on this establishment. Why are you looking to have your words be read by other people? Oh my god. So there's a very otherness over there. And again, I have this tendency to be like, those people are over there and they know more than I do.
Yeah.
So they're obviously doing it right, and I'm the weird one who isn't writing anything, and I should just follow what they say.
So then you really need the lesson that most of the people on there are donors. That's not only true for.
I fully need that lesson. It's so interesting. If
That's
it wasn't
true on
Yelp for
Amazon.
people, that would totally screw me up.
Like you should read even the comments from the fitness thing that I posted.
Yeah.
You should read the comments.
I should.
Because some people are
should
like,
just
oh, she's
read
the same person.
I should just like devour idiots. Like just take it in and be like, oh, okay, that's what we're dealing with here. Great. Got it.
And people are like in all
Yeah,
different universes
Yeah.
with their stuff. And you can kind of see that in reviews.
Yeah.
So I take some more seriously than others.
Yeah.
And because there's such a function, an emotional function for telling somebody that you were really bothered by something that happened at their establishment or whatever, I also like recognize the like emotional reviews that are like heat of the moment, crime of passion reviews, review of passion.
You relate to those people too, or not those, but like the ones who
And put it in a context.
would go through like pointing out how it ruined their evening or something.
No, I'm not. I don't
No?
trust those people.
Oh, okay.
Ruin their evening. That means they think that their life is continuing on. That's a terrible judgment. If someone was like, "It ruined my day," I'd be like, "That's a dumbass." You let something like that ruin your day, as opposed to, "I had a really bad experience at the thing." Like it's emotional immaturity to do the former.
Oh, I guess I'm just thinking, I'm thinking of like the fancy restaurant. It's a big birthday gathering. And then they write the saga about how disappointing it was. That's what I more mean about like it ruined their day or their evening.
Speaking of which, did I ever review that place for New Year's Eve? I don't think I did. Excuse me for a moment.
Oh, she's gonna be hurt.
But
yeah, like I think
it's just people getting something off their chest.
You
It's
know-
not necessarily a reflection of the restaurant.
would you feel anxious ordering from like a 2-star establishment?
Yes.
Too. Even like 3.5, it's like, ooh, what are we doing? or I'm just like thinking
3.5, I think, could go either way.
You know what? I even like look at the reviews on Amazon of food.
What food?
I look up food to
What
see if
food?
it tastes good.
What?
Like I'll look at like, I don't know, we're talking about like chickpea pasta. I've definitely like been browsing different chickpea pastas and looking at the different reviews of different brands of chickpea pastas because I have to make sure that I have a good one.
I don't know what this is like symptomatic of. Do you have any explanation?
I don't think I'm alone in this. I don't think I'm the only one who, because people review these things.
You're probably not. Do you have an idea as to what it's about?
What it's about? I think it's like not wanting to make mistakes,
Mhm.
like certainty, not wanting to make a mistake, not wanting to waste money. Like,
Do you order the
probably
same
that.
thing at restaurants over and over again?
Definitely.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, if I order a dish and it's bad,
Then you just threw that away.
I take it personally.
I take food poisoning.
No, but I take it personally like I failed. I
Oh,
ordered the wrong thing.
I feel wronged.
Oh, okay.
My sister and I both have this, so I think it's got something to do with boarding school.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, oh, you're out of this? Oh, are you? Like, why would you do that to me?
Yeah. Every time Bell's Bagels.
I was just
sold
gonna
out.
say, sometimes when they're sold out, I have to be. I'm kind of like, man, only very little. It depends on how hungry I am, also. Like, if I'm like, I have to eat, and then I like think that there's something coming. This never happens since post vegan. This never happens anymore. But if like there's a weight, because it starts to like interact with my I can't be hungry. It's the worst condition that could ever be wished for. I was thinking about this last night.
Because you were hungry.
Yes, and I was trying to observe it. I was like, what is the matter? What is the problem?
Yeah.
And I remember multiple times my mother has said, oh, can you believe that there's kids going to sleep without anything in their stomachs? I can't imagine anything worse. And I think she's speaking like a little bit, what's the word? I think it's an exaggeration. But
Hyperbolically.
thank you, yes. But still, for her to like even consider saying that being hungry is like I guess starvation is. Starvation's really bad, I think.
Just the pain of it.
I mean, I do better with pain than discomfort. I might do equally bad with both. Yeah, I don't think I'm good at either. I don't know why I just said that. I'm not good with discomfort. I, for some reason, think of that as being like related to being pitta. You're just like a little hot in the head. So if something like, it's like you have a shorter fuse on it. So like this will set it off. I wonder if pittas are more like intolerant to it.
You don't think it would it's like the way that they would react is different than others?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It might be.
But it's not that like they can't deal with discomfort. All these negatives.
I know.
It's not that they can't deal with discomfort more.
It's not that they can't.
Wait. Can I say it simpler? So you're saying pittas can't deal with discomfort.
No, I wonder if it has anything to do.
Alright.
For some reason, like it's multiple times popped into my head. Like, oh, I wonder if that has to do with being. Even if it has nothing to do with it, I'm definitely that. But
because I just think like, oh yeah, like following that, pittas would be like, no, I can't, or get angry, or out like indignant, whatever it is. And then I think like, oh, maybe it's just that that's that reaction for pittas, but then like Vata would react by like going into their heads as like
yeah, I
as
think
a
that's
means,
possible.
Kappa's the one I know the least about.
My sister.
Yeah, what are they like? Like, aren't they? I just think of them as being happy, but that can't.
They're like
That's oversimplifying them.
there's a contentment because they're not trying to get away in ways that it feels like the other two types are kind of like too hot, too cold, too like they're jumpy or they move locations a lot in some way.
Yeah.
Like they need to change conditions, and I think that kappas are more like. This is nice. I like sitting here.
So what are they like when they're not?
I'm not sure. It is inogi, by the way.
Inogi, not unagi, nogi. Phew, that got solved. How does your sister react to discomfort?
She's a very high threshold for pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They sleep a lot.
Oh,
It's really cute. They're pretty cute.
like Snorlax.
Who's that?
It's a Pokemon.
Yeah. There's a lot on here about all of this stuff.
Huh.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think it's Versace. Like, what is this? It's a really elaborate facial covering, is what it is.
Cloth mix.
Really elaborate.
They binge eat and under-exercise, causing weight gain and diabetes.
Oh, you're
So
right.
they eat.
Cows.
Sorry. Can you just your indoor voice? That's what kappas are like.
I mean, Aditi says that all the time,
Yeah.
but only to the child. And she's kind of loud. Don't take life so seriously or rush. She might not be this anymore. Like, she might not be, you know how you have your like native ratio and then you have the one that you're at right now, which is more like a assess. It's like your weight and your whatever. It's like having your own numbers now.
Yeah.
She might not be in a place where that she's very.
And is
she's
it
very
is it like you're supposed to be more in your home zone as opposed to balance?
home zone?
Yeah.
In alignment with your home zone.
Home zone. I would hate to be a kappa because aren't they not supposed to eat fat?
I think so.
Couldn't do that. I'd be a good pitta.
Yeah. I feel very legitimized by my Pitta food recommendations.
Yeah.
Carbs and sugar. But I have always loved carbs.
Cooling foods.
Cool.
Water. I think I'm just supposed to eat cooked things.
That makes sense.
I don't like it.
That makes sense.
What do you mean?
I'm surprised that how much sense it makes. Like, I could see why they'd say to Vatas, you should eat cooked food.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't sensorily feel right to you.
Because like you're so not cooked.
Like, you're a little like crispy.
Yeah.
So just let's like give you baby formula.
Pretty much.
Let this be a smooth, relaxing experience. Let digestion be a relaxing experience.
Mm.
And if you cook something, it's easier to digest.
Mm. Okay.
Mabes.
Yeah.
It feels right in my head, but I don't know what. It's no big deal. It's just my divine feminine. So
Simple foods. Well, I know they're allowed a lot of fat. So they need
they're allowed
grounding.
a lot of fat. Yeah.
They need grounding.
I need grounding.
We all do.
Do we all? Kappas don't.
They're good. I think my sister's a kappa.
They're grounded.
No, but she's not a kappa. See, this is where it breaks down.
Does she have good skin?
She didn't. She had very oily skin.
But oily is kappa.
Yeah, like she seems like a kappa, but she's just anxious. So what does that mean? And she loves overeating and sleeping.
She sounds like a native kappa, but then she might have like a lot of vata happening.
Yeah.
Like I said, my sister is constantly rushing. Like, she's very
Mm.
fiery and in a hurry. a lot of things that I don't think of as being kapha. So I think she's just got her balance is like towards something different.
Interesting. I've never really explored Ayurveda.
Yeah,
Not thoroughly.
there's a couple of books here.
Do you think you can actually learn enough from the books, or do you need to like actually talk to someone who knows?
Yes, you can learn stuff from the books.
Hmm.
I don't know what else to compare it to, but I don't think the books are like meaningless.
And how much do you think is just about diet?
In Ayurveda,
Yeah, versus because that's usually what people tend to focus on. It's like, what food should I eat? Is it more
that's
encompassing than that?
mostly what it is.
Okay.
It's in a thing with a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've wondered what would happen if I like strictly tried an Ayurvedic diet.
Yeah, I also wonder like how much your native food plays a role. Because sometimes I feel like if I'm eating Indian food, then it's like my body knows what to do with it or something. I don't know. I feel like I've in my life eaten large quantities of white rice, for example. I think the rice thing's bullshit.
I do too. White rice is so much better than brown. It's so much better.
It is. I need to get my fucking jabs. But is it time to turn yet? How is it not time to turn?
Oh, it's soon.
I already have happened.
2 minutes.
It's only been.
I don't know what happens if I miss my.
What do you eat? You can't.
If I'm a minute late. I was supposed to add 90-degree Fahrenheit water to this bread. And I did not let it cool. It was 92 degrees, and I seriously questioned whether I was just destroying all my efforts. We'll see.
Wait, are you saying that you didn't follow directions?
I was saying that the water was supposed to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was 92.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. What is this reckless behavior?
That's self-sabotage.
Why do I hate myself so much, obviously?
Why would you take the sourdough away from yourself?
I don't know.
Or maybe it's to keep prolonging the...
Because once I perfect my sourdough,
It'll lose all meaning.
yeah, what am I going to do then?
It's like the packages.
Yeah.
When it's like oncoming is when it's at its height.
That deprivation. See, like even the Yelp review, it's over there. It's over there, keeping things at arm's length. Have you thought more about deprivation and compression?
No, the couple of times it's popped into my head, I like flooded quite quickly. I was like,
I know, because they seem to contradict each other, but I do think they're the same.
he also said something, by the way, about my desire to not be in my body sometimes. And I was like, no kidding.
Right.
And then, particularly because of like stuff we've been talking about recently, I was like, wait, is it important for me to be in my body? Like, is that a thing that I should? Obviously, it's better than not being in your body. I think that's obvious. Wait.
Okay. That's all right. We got him. Okay.
Do you feel like count or something?
I have to do, but no. Ooh, look at that beauty.
Bubbles?
Bubbles, yeah, look at that, right?
Yeah, I see at least one.
I'm covered in dough. And so is the kitchen.
Can you believe I just ate something, first of all, that was on my hand without finding out what it was?
I've definitely done that. I've definitely like put avocado skin in my mouth thinking it's bread.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel better now.
Yeah. What was Robert saying about
Oh, so then I wanted to clarify, like, is it important to, how important is it for me to stay in my body?
Oh yeah.
Or is it like not that big of a deal if I'm occasionally not in my body?
Hmm.
And
From astral projecting.
I meant more like on
Yeah.
drugs, but
Oh, okay. And
not that I.
yeah.
He said, first of all, he gave me a very, very long explanation of how to set up not on Wi-Fi, and he's really not into 5G apparently.
Oh, what is 5G?
I've heard somebody else like,
So the 2G is better?
I don't know what 5G is. It's like Mach 7. I don't know what the fuck. It's just like numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was significant in any way.
Most people do not realize that 5G is not one click more powerful than 4G. It's tens of thousands of times more powerful.
No.
He thinks it's extremely, really, very, very bad.
Really?
I think it might be a new thing. Is 5G a new thing? Like, do we actually have it? I don't know. You know, that's what the thing says.
It's what it says, so I just assumed. It's not, what's the like fiber optic? It's not that.
Right. I get some of these things confused.
Yeah, me too.
Because when I heard stuff about 5G, I thought about it as like a faster thing that we don't have yet. But you're right. It does say that.
It must.
Apparently,
Why doesn't he like it? Like, it's not because the planets don't like it, is it?
the level of radiation
No way.
is extremely destructive to the body, brain, and energy.
No.
Yep. But he says my recommendation would be to avoid it via a home router or cell towers.
Wow.
Which makes me think I don't know what the hell 5G is. Because we have a home router, don't we?
I think a home router is different.
In what way?
It's not a personal router, is it?
Of course it is. Nobody else uses our Wi-Fi router.
But I think like a home router is something you can travel with. You know what I mean?
I haven't thought about it ever, but I didn't realize that was a thing.
I think that's what a home router is.
You know, that's where the word dongle came from.
What?
In my family, at least. My mom had a little thing, like it was like a USB drive. Is it now just going on the...
No, I can't tell if this is dough
Carpet?
or something else. Because now that's not dough. Oh, you mean great. Thanks for just wiping it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Doesn't that get rid of it forever?
This is where the world ends. Right here.
Yeah.
So my recommendation would be to avoid it again via home router and or cell towers. Of its many, many hazards and problems, it uses multiple wavelengths, including 60 gigahertz, including 60 gigahertz period. 60 gigahertz prevents hemoglobin from uptaking up to 98% of oxygen that is supposed to be delivered throughout the body by the blood. 5G is a contracted sickness.
There's a lot of 5G though everywhere.
This makes me think, what is 5G? Does anybody know what 5G is? One of the first things that comes up when you type what is, and my phone says, what is toner? The fuck is toner?
What is toner?
Yeah, this is a new thing. We don't have this. This is a new thing.
5G?
I think so.
Oh. So it's just labeled 5G for no reason?
Like gigawatt though. Giga doesn't actually stand for anything independent.
5G is in selector areas. It's not fully operational elsewhere yet.
See?
But I'm just going off what I know in Australia. It's bad, but it's inevitable because it's the future. Thank you, D-Money.
Oh my gosh, thank you. What is the likelihood of someone having that shit? After the hundreds of people.
I don't know.
Yeah, in telecommunications, 5G is the 5th generation technology standard for cellular networks, which cellular phone companies began deploying worldwide in 2019. The planned successor to the 4G networks, which provide connectivity to most current cell phones. Like its predecessors, 5G networks are cellular networks in which the service area is divided into small geographical areas called cells. All 5G wireless devices in a cell are connected to the internet and telephone network by radio waves through a local antenna in the cell. The main advantage of the new networks is that they will have greater bandwidth, giving faster download speeds, eventually up to 10 gigabits per second. So anyway, like I was just saying that giga is a prefix for anything. So maybe it's a different, maybe that 5G is referring to a different gig or something else.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. So we might be all right.
But he did put it in the context of Wi-Fi, not cellular. So that's kind of confusing. Because the internet is saying that it's a cellular thing.
I think we should get our internet service provider on the phone
You think?
right now to clear this up.
I'm not telling my folks. What I was referring to was a general intention to be in the body and to lean into the density, compression, and gravity of 3D versus the general tendency not to. That sounds like I should lean into the density, compression, and gravity.
Yeah, it definitely does. It sounds more like, you know, the compression of New York would have been very good for you.
Funk that!
But it's uncomfortable, right?
He said I was going to be slower here. Like, the shit gets done slower, but it might be a kind of place.
It's like she's a sourdough here. You know?
I take 15 minutes.
No, you take like forever.
Yeah, maybe not, though.
Well,
Just
maybe not.
compared to.
Right.
No,
Forever.
This doesn't mean objectively slow.
You're never gonna get there. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that means that it is important that I stay in my body.
Probably.
Lean into. How do you lean into density, compression, and gravity? I'm like
I think
sitting
it
in
just
this
means when it's uncomfortable, like say hunger, you don't run from it quite as quickly.
I waited a solid 6 minutes last night. Minimum.
Yeah.
Or maximum. Before I went and got something.
6 minutes. Was that a record?
I mean, it's more. I think it's more than I usually do.
Well, especially at home. Like at home, it's that can feel like a lot because it's right there.
Yeah, I'm doing it to myself,
Right.
basically.
Mm.
But yeah, I have all these like emotional triggers, so it's literally that I'm like scared to. It's a control thing. Like I can't. It feels like letting go of something that you like need to have a sense of control. So it's not the physical discomfort is one aspect of it for sure, but I don't know, like it's so associated with other stuff that I can't hear like which is the physical discomfort and which is the.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to pay attention to my stomach yesterday, literally.
Mm.
It was growling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to describe like what is it that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite difficult.
Right.
It feels like my stomach's trying to move something that's not in it. So like a kind of like muscular convulsion.
Mm-hmm.
What is it when your stomach is making noises? What the fuck is making the noise?
Well, I think it's like that. it's like it's bubbling. It's like digesting its own juices, right? I think that's what's happening. It is so strange. Like that we make sounds because our stomachs are empty. Oh, like we just gurgle. What is going on?
It's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've always been so like mortified by it.
Oh.
Mortified. I'm not sure why.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's the equivalent of like pooping my pants in front. No, it's not that bad, but no. I get pretty uncomfortable though. Like, I don't know what I make it mean, or like the thing about it that I'm mortified that somebody can hear my insides. It's like, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Aw, I didn't realize it was so.
Or I feel like I'm being told on. I feel kind of like I'm being told on.
What are you being told on about?
The fact that it's either having difficulty or there's nothing in it, and like so I neglected it. So it's like, hey, is there anybody out there?
And like you're not taking care of yourself?
Kind of.
If you're grumbling?
Kind of. Like, what did you go and eat? What did you eat? Or what have you not eaten? What are you doing with yourself there?
Right.
Because either it's making a sound because it's having a hard time digesting whatever like cloth I just put into it.
You know what it's making me think of? Wait, and I don't want to share this here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's making me think of that in some way.
Yeah, it's also connected to the same environment shower experiences. That sounds way more thrilling than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? You're incompetent. My body's telling people that I didn't do right by it.
And that would go both ways. If you're like stomach's grumbling because you ate something funny.
I don't even know if that's what happens, but that's what I think it is.
Because you ate something funny? What do you mean?
So it growls out of hunger, but
yeah.
When else does it make noises? When
you're
like,
digesting.
What is happening?
And it's like whoa, whoa.
But like what experience is it? What is it experiencing to make those sounds?
I don't know.
I have no idea what a stomach is.
I think it's needing to like produce extra acid because like we don't know what to do here.
It's so rude. Why can't it just keep it to itself? Just tell everybody in the neighborhood about it.
Like that's a good question of like, is the sound? Wait.
None of my other fucking organs are making loud groaning sounds.
Wait. Is the sound
stomach
partly functional to like tell us? Like,
yes,
hey!
Definitely.
Or is it the other way around? Like they make sounds and then we've recognized that means something's wrong. But it's not there to tell us. I don't know. Wait.
You just said the same thing to
No, I didn't. No, it makes sense.
Maybe, but you forgot to say
like
what the other
we associate the sound
with
hunger, but it's not trying to get our attention.
I think it might be trying to get our attention. Depends on what these other sounds are. They're just grumblings and rumblings when it's like, no, you've got plenty to eat, you're fine. I had no idea what
I mean, like, okay, I'm gonna go in a weird direction here, but whatever.
I cannot wait.
It's not like farts make sounds to let us know something.
Farts make sounds because of our bums.
Yeah, and I think stomachs make sounds because of our stomachs.
But where is the movement?
Inside.
moving stuff downward, or like what does
I don't know.
Steph
We
even
need to
do?
go on the Magic School Bus for these answers.
You're so right.
Miss Frizzle. Imagine
so-
she shows. Yeah.
Magic School Bus was one of my like early American experiences. Yeah, my cousins were watching it, and I was like, I felt decidedly too old for cartoons.
Oh,
Um,
you were like 7.
no, I was 11.
Okay.
That's old, I think, for cartoons.
For Magic School Bus, yeah, that's a bit old.
That's the end story.
Oh, you were just
They're
judging your cousins. How old were your cousins? They're like 13.
One was a shred younger than me, and one was a shred older than me.
Okay.
Religious family. I think that had something to do with it. They were homeschooled.
It's so weird when you're like, we're too old for this.
What do you mean so
With-
weird?
It's just like such a weird experience. I had this friend growing up that I only saw like every once in a while because she lived in Lethbridge.
Mhm.
And so like, yeah, every 6 months or so it'd be like, oh, what are you into now? Who are you now? And she was really into horses. She was a horse
Horse
person.
people.
Oh my
I'm really glad you just said horse person. Because this is a weird thing, I think. But
Oh, it is weird.
okay, cool.
Okay, so she was really into horses, everything about them, including the fact that she liked to pretend to be a horse. And really liked, and also was like very insistent that you not go on your hands and knees.
But on your hands and feet?
On your hands and feet, because it's not like a horse is on its knees.
Right.
You have to have the integrity of the horse.
How old was she?
And I think she was like 11 years old, and it was like, we are too old to be running around the basement pretending like we're
You mean
horses.
galloping.
That's right, I'm sorry. See, I was not a
trotting.
good playmate
Yeah.
with her.
It's very invalidating.
And she definitely like, yeah, felt like it included like riding of the horse too. Which is also very hard when someone is not on their knees.
Wait, so you did weighted downward dogs for like hours? That's goat yoga, I think.
Oh, maybe.
I think that's kind of what goat
That's
yoga
it.
is.
Yeah, we were basically doing go yoga.
But you're not supposed to like move around, I don't think.
No, you're not supposed to gallop.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go from A to B, like distance. Oh my god, that's so funny. And you just went along with it, or you were like, we're too old for this.
Oh, I'm almost positive. I never said that, and I just thought it secretly, and hoped her parents would come pick her up soon.
You just wanted her to go away.
It's just a very exhausting game.
I mean, I'm sure it was, especially like even emotionally, frankly. Because if you are like very aware that you're too old for something, and you're still like, I mean, yeah, that's a heavy weight. That's like dancing against the rhythm of music.
Yeah, very good.
Because I was just thinking that I act a fool with Ishan, but it's contingent on his reality. So if you feel like the other person is too old for it, like you can like debase yourself if the other person's a child.
Yeah, if this was like a 6-year-old, whatever, but she's the same age as me, if not like 6 months older.
I think that would be like very exhausting. I think that would be very exhausting.
She's just a strong personality.
Is she like running for Congress? I mean,
No, I
Where
think
is
she
she?
lives in. Last I heard on Facebook, she's living somewhere in California now. Actually, I know,
wait, what?
like maybe San Jose or Sacramento, one of those, you know.
One of them's cold. The other one's less cold.
Sacramento is cold.
Is how I tell them.
Yeah, because one's closer to San Francisco.
Yeah, like Monterey.
San Jose is pretty close too. Huh?
I think San Jose is like between here and San Francisco, meaning like half-ish.
I've been to San
I
Jose.
think.
I think I had a coffee in San Jose. That's my time.
I have this amazing luck/bad luck to go to the best coffee shops when I'm driving through places.
Through Yelp or just
Yelp.
okay.
But again, a cross section of the Divine Feminine and Yelp.
Yeah.
And it's always such a bittersweet experience because you're like, yeah, what a fantastic coffee this is. But then you're like, I'll never see you again.
Like that.
It's tough.
It's so sweet though. There's
Of
something.
course, you think it's sweet.
No, there's something wonderful about a limited experience. It's true.
You're spoken like a true depriver.
No. But I told you about like in the happiness
thing,
course.
yes.
And they're like, actually, the fact that something, when we're just very adaptable, so things stop giving us pleasure after a certain point.
But if you're still at the beginning point, it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
So like the second and third time that I went for coffee there would have been great.
Yeah.
So that's what you're missing.
That's true.
It's not that the first time is better because you know you're never coming back. Or is that
if you
what it
went
is?
back, it would be someone. So there's like maybe like expectation has a lot to do with it. Like because I've definitely been on vacation somewhere or like even like shooting somewhere else. And so you get used to like a certain, suddenly you have your new coffee shop for like the week.
Yeah.
And there's something so comforting about that.
Mm-hmm. Yelping is one of the first things I do when I go to new places.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I always want to
relate
make
to
sure
that.
like
I know where the coffee is.
Yeah.
I know where the
there has to be like at least like a good coffee shop and a good restaurant close by.
I think I go coffee shop, grocery store.
Really?
I think so. I think I'm made more comfortable by like Whole Foods than a specific cuisine because it's a little bit more open.
I just want to go for brunch at least one day.
Good call.
If the coffee shop can do a brunch, I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Brunch is.
Can they do avocado toast?
How can you pay that much money for avocado?
I know, I've gotten a bit.
Gotten a bit.
Okay, so coffee shops do avocado toast, and oftentimes theirs is way better than some like stupid fancy restaurant, and you pay like $6 versus $12.
What
So I'll pay
fancy restaurants
$6.
have avocado toast?
Lots for brunch. Lots.
I'll never get it.
Ever?
Yeah, almost ever, unless I have a very like an insatiable craving for specifically it, because I'm like I can't reconcile for that one in particular.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to make at home. I think more people are more like this with more food, but I'm like I can make this exact thing at home. There's no way I'm paying like a large amount of money for it, and I will pay a large amount of money for almost anything.
I feel that way about salad.
Really?
Salads? What the hell is going on in the salad? Why is it $12?
I
If that, why is it
understand.
$16?
Because they decided what goes into it. For me, that's the hardest part.
Oh, okay. Then I'm like, I can make that.
Yeah.
Unless the dressing is like, it's hard. It's hard to pay. It's hard to go to Cafe Gratitude.
If it's good though, I kind of just.
What if it's garbage and they're still charging $15?
That is not great.
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Why is it $15? I have no idea why.
salads are kind of labor intensive.
You think that's it?
I think they take as long as, because if you're really gonna cut or grate or whatever, and then if there's like a hot thing, then you either need to have made like a grain or tofu or whatever other thing.
Yeah, but it's all pre-done.
Yeah, but I mean like compared to what you would have to do the same thing at home. You'd have to like cut everything, decide what goes into it, do that like maybe it's minimal amount of prep. I guess I think it takes about as long as cooking other stuff does. So if they charge $15 for cooking something else,
Uh,
but if it was like $15 for grilled
so the
cheese,
ease is what you take into it, or is like what you look into.
well, I think that's what makes me feel like I can't make the salad, or I didn't.
You could make
the salad.
avocado toast at home because it's literally toasting bread and then putting avocado
That is
on
it.
top.
Yeah, and there's no like mystery ingredients usually. Whereas a salad, like it could be anything, and the combination, there's like I don't know. But I also am is like very specially unskilled with salads.
Hmm.
I'm not at all good at figuring out what goes well together. I read recently somewhere that things that are in season together go well together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, how the fuck does that narrow anything down? You're like, great, I have both of these because like 6 things that are all in season because I have them together now. That doesn't mean they all go together. You know? Kind of made no sense.
I think a salad needs all the components. So it needs a sweet, it needs something crunchy, like it needs texture.
I would know both those things.
I think it needs something acidic, it needs something bitter.
I would never remember bitter, although I defer to arugula
Bitter
a
is
lot.
bitter, it's the arugula. So then arugula goes really well with something sweet because you want
Yes.
something to balance it.
Strawberries.
There you go. And strawberries are also acidic.
But then I wouldn't know. Okay, acidic.
Oh, and I also like something soft, which is often like goat cheese. I think is amazing in a salad or avocado.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what else functions like
creamy
that?
is a better.
Hearts of palm, to me, functions like that.
Yeah, that's great.
Like a sauce.
Soft, exactly.
You know what else I randomly like in salads? More recently, after sweet green is a grain, which I used to think was like not a salad or would just like change the thing. But like a handful of quinoa, or it just like makes it a much more substantial thing too. Quinoa or those farro, that kind of shit.
Even rice. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. You know how to make a salad now.
Yeah, but within that, like, it would not be good if I put strawberries, cucumbers.
Sounds good so far.
No,
So cucumbers are super crunchy.
I don't think that would be good. Strawberries and cucumbers.
That would be good. Strawberries and cucumbers are great together. Cucumbers go with most things, which is why they're in a lot of salads too.
Okay, yeah, yes, I agree.
'Cause
There
they're
are
pretty
certain
neutral.
things that are neutral. I think that hearts of palm are pretty neutral.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I like artichokes. It's commitment. It's an
The
event.
artichoke really changes the salad.
It's an event. Yes, like it might need to be made.
Then I would go with like a more Italian style salad with an artichoke.
You know what I'm very depressed about? Not being able to eat whatever basic Italian salad it is that's like essentially arugula, manchego, and lemon. Fuck,
I know.
I miss that so much.
I love that too. It's so simple and so satisfying.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I miss Italian salads or like burrata.
Yeah.
Ricotta, I miss ricotta sometimes.
I wonder if there's like, it's been disappointing to not see that basic salad replicated in any way. Like, why aren't more people trying to figure that shit out? What the hell would be a stand-in for vegan manchego?
I don't know. I've never tried like a.
I've never seen anything that's trying to approximate that. I guess, which is confusing.
Have you
'cause
really tried like the vegan parmesans or things like that? Yeah, I haven't. I mean, maybe they're getting pretty close. I'm not sure. That would be good. Just some rose, some lemon.
What is it about arugula, lemon, and cooking manchego, dude? What is happening there? That's magic. That's magic. And it is so simple. I don't miss that many things, but I think it's because I don't allow my mind to go there.
Yeah, me neither. The other day I was thinking about milk chocolate.
Oh, never been into it though.
It's so good.
Except I liked Kit Kats.
Huh. How do you eat a Kit Kat?
This around the sides. First,
Yes, okay.
The base layer,
Yeah.
and then from one edge, like a little bit. I would never do anything that I see in commercials. I don't know what all those people.
What are they doing not breaking it off? They're insane. It's literally like take a break and then they're eating it like it's a protein bar.
I don't know. And I also would never take a piece of Kit Kat and just go like that.
Ugh, barbarians.
Yeah, I would eat it from one side or the other. Definitely.
Yeah, I have to take off the edges, but you don't take off the wafers. You don't
I
do
have
extra.
done that.
Yeah.
But that's really funny. There was not even a shadow of a space in considering how to eat a kit. Like, do you think everyone is that anal retentive? I don't think so.
No, I think that's very normal. I
don't
think if you
it's
don't
normal.
have that response, there's something wrong with you.
I also used to eat Ferreros a specific way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, have you ever eaten those?
Oh,
The
yeah.
roast round ones?
Yeah.
So those ones, here's what you do.
Okay.
You
eat the outside as
Of
well.
course.
Oh, I think I. Continue.
You eat the whole outside and you end up with the wafer ball.
Yeah.
Then you unscrew the wafer ball. You pull out the hazelnut, leaving as much chocolate in the bowl as possible. You eat the hazelnut. You close the grill. Wait a bit.
Okay.
I basically just make it wafer and chocolate.
Right.
I just get rid of all the nuts.
You're like a little squirrel.
You know
Or an opposite
what
squirrel.
I really don't appreciate?
Who?
Who? It could be a who.
You
Brazil
said-
nuts.
Oh. No, what is going on there? I feel like I'm eating a big toe. I don't. Yeah.
Fuck Brazil nuts.
It's not even a nut. What is it?
I don't know what it is. It's like the crouton of, except no, because croutons are
Croutons are amazing.
way better than. How would you eat a Ferrero?
I think I eat it much the same way. I don't take out the hazelnut though.
I used to not.
You used to nut. You used to not nut.
I used to not be nut.
D-nut. Yeah. Did you know there was this show on YouTube? Maybe you're familiar. That I used to really like, where I forget what the person's name was, but she basically had to. Was it for Bon Appetit? It was one of those, like, it was like there was money behind it. She had to replicate like really well-known things, but make like the gourmet version. Did it even no, it wasn't making the gourmet version. It was just like, you have to figure out how to make this. And all of these well-known things have like it's trade secret, you know? So she made, I'm pretty sure she made Oreos, which was actually very, like, all of it is surprisingly so difficult. And I remember she had to make Ferrero Rocher. And that was something. Making those little wafers, so difficult.
How the fuck do you make a wafer globe?
Exactly. And then, what do you think the inside is? What do you think it is?
What do you mean? Which part? There's layers.
There's layers.
Of Ferrero?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
there's a hazelnut.
Yeah,
Then
inside
it's surrounded with, like, I would say that is cocoa, sugar, and hazelnut butter.
which might also be. It's just Nutella. It's just Nutella. Taste them side by side. It's just Nutella.
But I love that.
Oh yeah, like Nutella is amazing.
Yeah.
But it changed it. I don't know. It changed it. I was
It
like,
didn't
wait,
change it for
what?
me.
It's just Nutella in that? So I could just.
Yeah, because the combination of hazelnut and chocolate is like a thing that in my
It's
head I
owned
was
by
like,
the same company.
it's in multiple places, but I didn't know that it was owned by the same. Ah, no, the cone of the hazelnut and the chocolate.
Got it.
Yeah. I love nuts. I don't love nuts in things.
It was salad.
I've come around, but I used to be so conservative with salads that I might as well not eat a salad.
Oh.
Like I used to not like anything sweet. I think I was always okay with nuts. I don't like nuts in baked goods.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
Like any cookies, I will eat the cookie and the nuts really happily both. But I'm not into cooked nuts.
Like roasted, caramelized,
And caramelized, obviously, but they don't. It doesn't count if you bathe something in sugar.
praline. Yeah. For a while, I was looking really deeply into that. Anything like honeyed or praline or
Dude, there's something fantastic about that. I don't even know what praline is, but it's phenomenal. Like, what is it? Is some kind of caramel? What is it?
I don't think so. It's something that happens to sugar at a certain temperature.
Let's light some sugar on fire.
Imagine if that's the next thing. That's probably where this is going.
Where which is going?
I just get really into baking. You come home and I've just made caramel. It's everywhere. I've just been spinning sugar.
That would be a nightmare. If there was physically caramel everywhere, I would go over it.
Yeah.
Having sticky things
Oh my god.
all over the everywhere. I would love that. You want to get the saddest thing ever?
What?
Have you ever heard of the concept of the midnight feast?
As in, like fasting?
When we were in boarding school, we used to like plan these things, midnight feasts, and it meant that you would wake up in fucking dead of night and like hang out and eat something and go back to bed. But because I was still in prep school, like I didn't have any like allowance. Like, we had no food.
Yeah.
Outside of meals and stuff.
Yeah,
We didn't have it any in our dorms.
Right.
So a lot of us at the beginning of the term would arrive with like supplements and shit, and they would all go in the like nurse's office that was on the way back from the dining hall. And they have your like name on it, and you can like go. I can't remember if you were allowed to go fish it out or someone fishes it out. No, I think you're allowed to go fish it out. Of this like little cubby.
Yeah.
And popular ones were calcium tablets and cod liver oil. And
Like
Fish
oil
No.
or tablets. Okay.
so because we had nothing,
Mhm.
I have no joke, maybe more than once, hoarded like extra calcium and fish oil in my little fist and woken up in the middle of the night to eat it with people.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's so sad.
That's candy to you. I don't know.
Like it's when you're just in a thing and like rocks become
Right.
currency.
This
You're
is
just
where
like,
I'm like,
I'll
yeah,
give
what
you
is
this.
food? What is food? At what point are you like,
I was saying rocks become currency, not rocks become
Become
food.
how do we know not to eat rocks? I'm just wondering.
Experience. I mean, on a large scale. Probably someone has eaten a rock at some point.
Oh, absolutely. You know those people who like eat cars? You
What?
know, those people.
What?
This might be one person. Where like they decide to eat an entire car.
I'm sorry,
Piece by piece.
I'm obsessed with this idea. Why would you ever do that?
I don't know.
No, I don't know about these people.
You know, those people.
Oh my God. Because you know what it is? If you eat a rock, it probably is really painful to poop out. And so probably everyone was like, hey,
I don't
guys,
know if you poop it out.
don't do that. What do you
It
mean?
might be in there.
That's like what is making the noise. Like that's what's making your stomach rumble.
There
All
you
the
go.
rocks in there.
All the rocks.
All the undigested rocks.
How many rocks can a person? I don't know. What does happen if you eat a rock? Maybe nothing.
out.
Maybe it's fine. Just a rock.
You poop it out.
I bet people do it intentionally. Do you think people eat crystals?
Probably. Someone does everything.
Right.
If people eat hair,
If you had to eat a crystal, what kind of crystal would you eat?
I imagine it would all come to the same thing. Probably not quartz.
No. Okay.
Or no, not the like see-through ones.
But why?
I'd want them to be opaque. Because they're less like gloss.
Oh, you're just fully thinking of like you having to eat.
What are you talking about? Isn't that what you just asked me?
No, but you're actually thinking of the experience of eating it, not like, right, what do my insides need? What kind of crystal?
Can you eat a lump of coal? Because I think that is
You
something
could.
people do.
You could. You're not gonna go for like something grounding. You're eating a rock. I'm assuming it's- When you
It's
said
gotta be for
quartz,
grounding.
when you said quartz, I was like, oh, interesting. Rose quartz. Like, right, you don't want quartz because like quartz is for your heart center, not your stomach center.
Wait, are you thinking that it would be ground up or something? Like
No,
you
no,
wouldn't have to
no.
experience.
No.
you have to experience eating it.
That's true. I guess
Something
you have to
round.
swallow it.
I'd want to do something round
Oh,
without
not
sharp
pointy.
edges.
See, yeah, you're thinking very practically. This is good. This is good.
You're thinking very metaphorically.
Like, right, they're sharp and pointy. Hmm.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of was that those things that I got for both of us, the like pokey
Oh,
ones.
that would hurt. Yeah, what is that called?
And imagine if you
the
did.
purple. Yeah,
I forget what it's called too.
it's called purple. Purple
Purple.
crystal.
And you'd have to like. You should get like drunk probably before it. That's the only way. Because just imagine. Have you ever drunk something really hot and you can feel it burning your insides?
Yeah. Oh no!
Like
that's
you would
true.
have to remain so relaxed for like a lot of the rock's journey down.
Like, you know what's better than you drink something hot? You know when you get a tortilla chip?
Stuck somewhere that you're like,
Oh, it's the worst. It's so terrible. And you're like, that's it. I've cut myself. And there's going to be tortilla chip, like Jags, coming out of my
oh
throat.
my god. I don't think I've ever did to come out my throat.
Sometimes it's literally felt like I'm gonna tear my. It feels
Fragile neck you have.
so fragile. Okay, so
Oh,
my
no,
mom.
it's right there.
It is pretty like.
It's really exposed.
Yeah.
Why do we not have a shell right here? We fucking need some shit right here.
Yeah, that's why we wear necklaces. I don't know if that's why.
This is really.
If anything, we shouldn't wear necklaces because
They can be used against us.
no, wait, because people would want to take them.
Sweet. Excuse me?
Because people would want to see.
People would want to what?
Wait, okay. Because people would want to steal them, so they would grab at your throat to take the shiny object.
Maybe.
You know,
That could
it's
happen.
dangerous
That could.
wearing and leaving the house with a necklace.
That's like very defense minded of you. More than normal.
That's true.
You're not normally prepared for people to take your things, like just want them
Right.
and take them.
But have you noticed? Rarely do I.
I have noticed that. And I was trying to figure out this whole time, what the hell is this about?
Yeah, I know. Not to mention, I mean, we're just talking people, but there's birds of prey.
I was looking at a bunch of like things to attract birds and be nice to them in the garden. It's like pollinator.
So you could have your dream finally of birds dressing
I
you.
mean, I'd have to like really work hard. Do you know that multiple people that I know have personal relationships with squirrels? 2 people at least.
At least?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, probably not.
How
more.
personal are these relationships?
Like this personal hanging out, like eating from your hand and being totally relaxed.
I don't know. I guess they're good with squirrels. Oh, you're like,
They're
why
getting the
aren't
Disney princess experience.
that's supposed to be me?
Yeah.
Well, my parents have a bird feeder that they are obsessed with.
Really. I had a hummingbird feeder at my previous apartment, but in part it was because it was an apartment, so I hung it on the like balcony veranda thing, and it was like nice because it was the only like natural shit. Like we didn't have,
Right.
we have plants and that. But now that the hummingbirds and stuff come here, I don't have sugar water out.
Mm.
Also, how do we decide what these creatures want? Like they're like, this is a butterfly puddler. Is it based on any information about butterflies wanting to puddle?
To puddle?
I don't know. It's called a puddler.
That's funny. I'm assuming I'm gonna say yes.
And do birds
I'm
really
gonna say-
bathe in whatever water they find?
That's right, bird baths.
That's a lot of bird baths on these websites.
Birds actually bathe?
I mean, they must. Otherwise, what are we all doing? What is everybody doing?
They're like, oh, okay, is this what you want? That's what you...
Oh my god! There's this fucking hilarious product where, so they have like prefab things that are perfect for birds to nest in. So like maybe one will nest in yours, right? And there's one that has suction cups and 3 walls and a hole obviously on the outside, and you stick it against a window, and the idea is that you can watch the whole thing happen. But I immediately was like, wait, and I clicked on the reviews, And this woman was like, they can see you. So it's not a safe place for them to.
Right.
They're not like, oh, this looks like a good place, like right next to this fucking human.
Okay.
She was like, I had to put up a curtain and like,
So I can't watch it.
yeah, of course you can't.
It's not,
Because they can see
it's
you.
not one-sided glass. Okay.
Yeah.
Not very well designed.
Isn't
Not
that
very
funny?
well thought out. That's so funny.
And a lot of people who had reviewed it, most people who had reviewed it, by the way, were like, oh, I can't wait for the words to come. And I was like,
no.
you guys are so excited that you wrote a review before it happened?
Yeah.
What the hell is the
What is
use of that?
Exactly.
That's a useless review. Oh, I can't wait till bee season. If you don't know that it's going to live in your nest, like how are you reviewing the nest? You have no basis. It's just like what it looks like. I'm getting a bee hotel.
Yes.
Actually, there's a whole hive kit on there that's like $200.
Whoa.
Thinking about it. But that's kind of like what a fucking composter also costs. And I don't know that I'll get both in the same moment.
I was thinking about this because I was looking up composting.
Isn't it so complicated?
It's not.
On
There's
the
a lot
internet?
of products out there.
Yes, that's what I mean.
You can make your own, it looks like. It
There's-
looks like it just requires oxygen. That's the missing element to make worms, is it requires
To
oxygen.
make the worms,
To make the worms.
you can't make worms.
I don't know how it happens, but anyway, for the worming. I need to like do more research. But I was thinking about this too. Like maybe a place to start is literally just starting composting and not worrying so much about the fertilizing right now.
Where?
So like there's like a green compost bin.
Oh, that you mean getting rid of it?
So yeah, it was just like a first place to start because it is true that we go through so much compost and most of our garbage is just compost.
Yes.
A place to start would just be like getting a little thing for the counter. And then usually you just empty it every night.
So you're just putting like large quantities of rotting food into that green thing?
Yeah.
I hate that idea.
Yeah. Would it bother you to have like rotting food out back?
If there was no like way to hang off the
it's
smell, because I'm
sealed
very
off.
smell
Yeah.
specific. And while it might drown out the cat piss and shit,
Mhm.
I don't know that it would be with that great of an alternative, which is why I was thinking, and that's the thing about like needing oxygen, but also wanting it not to like stink up the whole. You have to buy the worms.
Yeah. Because you could like
You don't need worms to do it, but they make it much faster.
you could put it like in the driveway. Or into the driveway or something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. But I still don't think I would want it to be something that stank.
Mm.
Because which is the far end of the driveway?
Well, farther away from you. Yeah. I also think about
Right
it,
outside your window.
I guess.
It's kind of where
I
it
don't
seems
think
like
it's
you're
that
pointing.
stinky.
I think it is. Rotting food?
Yeah, but I'm saying like it decomposes pretty quickly.
How quickly?
I think when it's all together,
Months.
especially. I'm not sure.
I think months,
Okay.
based on what little I have looked at it.
Yeah.
Because the like super fast ones are like, it's ready in a couple of weeks.
Whew. That's fancy composting.
With worms.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you have to like turn it and stuff. That seems to be an important feature.
Turning it. Okay.
Yeah. Like you need to be able to like they either sell things that like long things with like a spiral end
I've
for
seen
you to
logo
like
kind of,
mix it up, or they have the tumbling ones, which means you just like rotate the. That's the one I was looking at. where you just rotate the entire bin.
Yeah.
That's the movement. I'm not sure what the movement is about. Maybe to like reorganize where
I think
stuff
it's
is.
because
stratify-
obviously like
to
the
keep
stuff
it
on
from
the bottom,
stratifying.
stuff on the bottom would be more decomposed than the other.
Yeah.
So you want to like sift it because I think it does encourage decomposition.
Air.
For some reason, this is making me think like, you know how if you want like avocados to ripen quicker, you put them near ripe bananas.
Yeah.
I think it's like that.
I don't think I knew that, but I did know that like proximity is a thing.
Yeah.
Huh. One bad apple. What they say. Should we read the book before I come up with what they say?
Okay. We didn't read much yesterday.
And we're not going to read much today, probably.
Probably not. But what we did read was scintillating.
Was it?
It was about Kutuzov
Oh,
and
yeah.
how he's not the mold of a European hero.
No. But he's my hero. Like, everyone's in a hero. I
Yeah.
mean, he should be.
He should
According to
be.
Tolstoy.
He's the true hero.
Not even Russian. Like, he's so into him. Because he's
not
just like
serving himself.
composting.
He is composting.
He's like, no, dudes, you just wait and it rots. That's all that is.
Yeah. He just like he didn't have his own agenda.
I thought it was very interesting, that part about how he basically like didn't think words had any meaning and just like it would be like Mad Libs with him.
Right. So yeah. He just didn't give much weight to words, so he would say whatever
He felt like it. That is one of the more bizarre things that I could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have an interesting relationship to words.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty far, like that's a leap for me. Because of the way that I relate to them. And I get personally offended when people talk nonsense. I've told you this, right? That I have like actually a short temper when it comes to people talking nonsense or doing like lazy talking.
Yeah.
I used to get frustrated when my previous roommate asked me like questions that I'd be like, just wait 2 seconds. Because you know the answer to this. And that would really bother me. Frivolous talk. Which is weird because I like nonsense. But there's something about getting someone's attention to then ask them something that you could have figured out yourself that like sometimes I do it with my family or my family does it with me, but there's something about it that bugs me.
It's lazy.
Yeah. It's not, you're not thinking about the fact that you have like gotten someone's attention from whatever it was that they're doing to be like, hey, over here. And then waste time. Asking something that you already know the answer to.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, that you already know the answer to. Or that's a nonsense question.
Like the yoga lady.
There was a yoga lady. She was the most annoying. Yeah, and that was offensive because if she had been doing what she's supposed to do, she would have known the answer to the question. Listening. Yeah. And it's wasting everyone's attention is now on you.
Yeah.
Asking a question that everybody else knows the answer to when they could have been curing cancer. or like whatever else. I hope it was worth it. Okay, sorry, I went on a jag. I went on a
People like that are they're fascinating though.
What do you mean?
I'm sure so much is happening on a subconscious level. Like in some way, their confusion. I don't think they really need the information or want it.
That's the part that's like, that's the part that's lazy. Or
Because
something.
you're right, like they could figure it out. So that's not why they're asking.
Yeah. So then, what are you doing? You're just making me look at you.
Pretty much.
Then just say, "Look at me." Look at me. Look at me, Bale. Look at me. Like that. And I will yuck. I will yuck wherever you tell me to yuck. I'm gonna be so sad when he figures out how to say L.
It could be a while.
I don't know. You're supposed to be celebrating growth milestones, but really, it's more like I feel like I experience each of these new stages as a profound loss. I miss, like, I was so disappointed when he grew his first tooth. It was like, but it used to be just gums in there, which was hilarious. He had no teeth.
That is weird. But if he was forever a baby, would that be good? Like, would you actually want that?
No.
No, and I don't even mean like altruistically or anything like that. Like, this is making me think about like shorter experiences are better. Yeah, if you could have him be little forever, would that be better?
Yeah.
It would be.
I feel like that would like cats. Baby cats are sweet.
Kittens are the best.
Grown up cats. Not as much. It's there's more discernment.
It'd be a very different thing if a kitten was just a kitten, not a small cat.
It'd be great.
I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be a pain in the ass.
Kittens. Ugh. Ugh, now I want a kitten. I'll take a kitten over a puppy any day. I told you right about like that kitten that I had to nurse back to health.
Those are also people that I'm like, what is going on with
I had to put a tiny
drop up?
no, a fucking pill down its throat.
That's not that
And it was so tiny, I was worried I would crush it.
What did you use?
My fingers.
Wouldn't it be funny if you were like, it's too small, I gotta use something small. And then you're like, why did I even say that out loud?
Oh my god.
Is it time to turn?
It's time to turn. Let's start reading.
Okay. Chapter 7. When the troops reached their night's halting place on the 8th of November, the last day of the Krasno battles, it was already growing dusk. All day it had been calm and frosty, with occasional lightly falling snow, and toward evening it began to clear. Through the falling snow, a purple, black, and starry sky showed itself, and the frost grew keener.
An infantry regiment, which had left Tarantino 3,000 strong but now numbered only 900, was one of the first to arrive that night at its halting place, a village on the high road. The quartermasters, who met the regiment, announced that all the huts were full of sick and dead Frenchmen, cavalrymen, and members of the staff. There was only one hut available for the regimental commander.
The commander rode up to his hut. The regiment passed through the village and stacked its arms in front of the last huts.
Like some huge, many-limbed animal, the regiment began to prepare its lair and its food. Wait, okay, you read.
I was going to say, like, you can
This is
do
too hard.
that.
This won't take very long.
One part of it dispersed and waded knee-deep through the snow into a birch forest to the right of the village. And immediately the sound of axes and swords, the crashing of branches, and merry voices could be heard from there. Another section amid the regimental wagons and horses, which were standing in a group, was busy getting out cauldrons and rye biscuit and feeding the horses. A third section scattered through the village, arranging quarters for the staff officers, carrying out the French corpses that were in the huts and dragging away boards, dried wood, and thatch from the roofs. I didn't know that the plural of thatch was thatch. For the campfires or wattle fences to serve for shelter.
Some 15 men with merry shouts were shaking down the high wattle wall of a shed, the roof of which had already been removed.
Now then, all together, shove! Cried the voices, and this huge surface of the wall, sprinkled with snow and creaking with frost, was seen swaying in the gloom of the night. The lower stakes cracked more and more, and at last the wall fell, and with it the men who had been pushing it. Loud, coarse laughter and joyous shouts ensued.
Now then, catch hold in twos. Hand up the lever, that's it. Where are you shoving to?
Now, all together! But wait a moment, boys, with a song.
Yeah.
Wait for the music.
Wait. Right. All stood silent, and a soft, pleasant, velvety voice began to sing.
What?
At the end of the third verse, as the last note died away, 20 voices roared out at once. Woo!
You always get these
I
things.
know. Woo! That's it, all together. Heave away, boys! But despite their united efforts, the wattle hardly moved, and in the silence that followed, the heavy breathing of the men was audible.
Here, you of the 6th Company, devils that you are, lend a hand, will you? You may want us one of these days.
Some 20 men of the 6th Company who were on their way into the village joined the haulers, and the wattle wall, which was about 35 feet long and 7 feet high, moved forward along the village street, swaying, pressing upon and cutting the shoulders of the gasping men.
Get along? Falling? What are you stopping for? There now!
Mary's senseless words of abuse flowed freely.
What are you up to? Suddenly came the authoritative voice of a sergeant major who came upon the men who were hauling their burden. There are gentry here. The general himself is in that hut, and you foul-mouthed devils, you brutes, I'll give it to you, shouted he, hitting the first man who came in his way a swinging blow on the back. Can't you make less noise?
The men became silent. The soldier who had been struck, groaned and wiped his face, which had been scratched till it bled by his falling against the wattle.
There! How that devil hits out, whatever that means. He's made my face all bloody, said he in a frightened whisper when the sergeant major had passed on.
Don't you like it? Said a laughing voice, and moderating their tones, the men moved forward.
It's really confusing to me how he always puts the exclamation before the explanation for how it's said.
Yeah.
So you don't have the context before you get the words. It's usually after.
Wait, so it's like
he said someone said in a laughing voice, don't you like it? Versus, don't you like it? Said a laughing voice. So when you read don't you like it, you don't know who or in what tone, what context, like even in the previous one.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. There, blah, 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 in a frightened whisper.
Right.
Even though people have been shouting this whole time. Or maybe not. I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know if that would be, yeah. I don't know if it would be so obvious if we weren't reading it out loud.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know either.
There is definitely something about this whole book where you only understand the thing like after the thing has been read.
Yes. Yeah.
Not while you're reading it.
Yeah. That is kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
You're starting to walk and you're like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. It's a trust fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you like it? When they were out of the village, they began talking again as loud as before, interlarding their talk with the same aimless expletives.
In the hut which the men had passed, the chief officers had gathered and were in animated talk over their tea about the events of the day and the maneuvers suggested for tomorrow. It was proposed to make a flank march to the left, cut off the vice-king, Murat, and capture him.
By the time the soldiers had dragged the wattle fence to its place, the campfires were blazing on all sides, ready for cooking. The wood crackled, the snow was melting, the black shadows of soldiers flitted to and fro all over the occupied space where the snow had been trodden down.
Axes and choppers were plied all round. Everything was done without any orders being given. Stores of wood were brought for the night, shelters were rigged up for the officers, cauldrons with C-A-L-D, interesting. Cauldrons were being boiled and muskets and accoutrements put in order.
The wattle wall the men had brought was set up in a semicircle by the 8th Company as a shelter from the north. propped up by musket rests, and a campfire was built before it. They beat the tattoo, called the roll, had supper, and settled down round the fires for the night, some repairing their footgear, some smoking pipes, and some stripping themselves naked to steam the lice out of their shirts.
Christ. Chapter 8. One would have thought, this is Janessa's favorite way of summarizing this book. One would have thought
Yeah. That's
that
it.
under the almost incredibly wretched conditions the Russian soldiers were in at that time, lacking warm boots and sheepskin coats, without a roof over their heads, in the snow with 18 degrees of frost, and without even full rations, the commissariat did not always keep up with the troops, they would have presented a very sad and depressing spectacle.
On the contrary, the army had never, under the best material conditions, presented a more cheerful and animated aspect. This was because all who began to grow depressed or who lost strength were sifted out of the army
Oh my
day by day.
goodness.
Whoa, okay.
I've heard of like a sort of bizarre and horrifying suggestion that's a little bit similar to this, which is the reason that Black Americans are so incredible at sports
Mhm.
and physically like consistently
God.
impressive
Okay. I think I know where this is going. Yeah.
is the same reason.
Is like, because only the strong slaves survived. That's awful.
Isn't it?
I think I've also thought this before. I don't know if someone said this, that part of the reason why we're all depressed is because most people get to live now. And like before, if you were anxious or depressed,
You'd exult?
something like that. Like if you were weak constitutionally.
Weak.
Yeah.
Which I obviously have thought about for sickliness, but not less so, I'd less so thought about it for mental or emotional.
I guess it could go the opposite way too, that like if you're more anxious, like you survive better if you think there's a tiger,
Yeah.
even if there isn't a tiger.
Yeah.
So it could go the opposite way too.
Yeah.
Where it's like actually most people stuck around by being overly cautious. So we have a bunch of like,
You started out by saying depression though, right? Or anxiety.
I think they said anxiety first, but
Oh.
depression seems like you'd be kind of lost if you got depressed.
I don't think there's any getting look. I'm not sure to what extent depression exists in places where the stakes are higher.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mm.
It's one of those things that you're like, how much did they make this up, and how much is
Yeah, for sure.
something actually happening?
Mm.
Because it seems like people with like major senses of purpose aren't depressed. But I don't know if that's just it's a confluence of so many factors that it goes undiagnosed, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay. More men collected behind the wattle fence of the 8th Company than anywhere else. 2 sergeants major were sitting with them, and their campfire blazed brighter than others. For leave to sit by their wattle, they demanded contributions of fuel.
Oi, Makiv, what has become of you, you son of a bitch? Are you lost or have the wolves eaten you? Fetch some more wood, shouted a red-haired and red-faced man, screwing up his eyes and blinking because of the smoke, but not moving back from the fire. And you, jackdaw, go and fetch some wood, said he to another soldier.
This red-haired man was neither a sergeant nor a corporal, but being robust, he ordered about those weaker than himself. The soldier they called Jackdaw, a thin little fellow with a sharp nose, rose obediently and was about to go, but at that instant there came into the light of the fire the slender, handsome figure of a young soldier carrying a load of wood.
Bring it here, that's fine.
They split up the wood, pressed it down on the fire, blew at it with their mouths, and fanned it with the skirts of their greatcoats, making the flames hiss and crackle. The men drew nearer and lit their pipes. The handsome young soldier who had brought the wood, setting his arms akimbo, began stamping his cold feet rapidly and deftly on the spot where he stood.
Mother, the dew is cold but clear. It's well that I'm a musketeer, he sang. Oh, he sang.
See?
Wait, is this a song? Mother, the dew is cold but clear. It's well that I'm a musketeer.
It's a rhyming couplet.
He sang, pretending to hiccup. Oh, great. After each syllable. I'm not going back.
Is that how you spell hiccup?
Isn't it? Hiccough?
I have never seen it spelled this way.
Hiccup. It's the British way.
Is it the proper way or is it just the British way? Like you've seen this multiple times before?
I mean, I guess I have because I didn't think twice about it.
You didn't.
I was just like, great, hiccup.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that word?
Maybe that's originally what it was called. So it's like H-I cough. Maybe that's originally what it was called, and then
Yeah.
I don't know why it would become hiccup. Anyway,
People got lazy and talk like babies.
yeah, they're like, oh, a cough is so hiccup. Yeah.
Okay. Look out! Your souls will fly off! Shouted the red-haired man, noticing that the sole of the dancer's boot was hanging loose. What a fellow you are for dancing!
The dancer stopped, pulled off the loose piece of leather, and threw it on the fire.
Right enough, friend, said he, and having sat down, took out of his knapsack a scrap of blue French cloth, and wrapped it round his foot. It's the steam that spoils them. What are we? He added, stretching out his feet toward the fire.
They'll soon be issuing us new ones. They say that when we finished hammering them, we're to retrieve double kits.
And that son of a bitch Petrov has lagged behind after all, it seems, said one sergeant major.
I've an eye on him this long while, said the other.
Well, he's a poor sort of soldier.
But in the third company, they say 9 men were missing yesterday.
Yes, that's all very well, but when a man's feet are frozen, how can he walk?
Hey, don't talk nonsense, said a sergeant major.
Do you want to be doing the same? Said an old soldier, turning reproachfully to the man who had spoken of frozen feet.
Well, you know, said the sharp-nosed man they called Jackdaw in a squeaky and unsteady voice, raising himself at the other side of the fire. A plump man gets thin, but for a thin one, it's death. Take me now. I've got no strength left, he added with sudden resolution, turning to the sergeant major. Tell them to send me to the hospital. I'm aching all over. Anyway, I shan't be able to keep up.
That'll do, replied the sergeant major quietly. See, I think he's doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because think of all of those like numerous like crowd scenes where it's just like one. Yeah, and deliberately with no through line. I think he doesn't want to give you the context or like any kind of explanation. I think he's deliberately putting the thing where you just like hear what the person says and you have no idea what.
Yeah, because I think that's also like the experience of being in it. There's no like exposition beforehand. When you're like living, you're just like in the thick of your life.
You have the context.
Yeah,
I thought about that too, but then I thought, if you're there,
but I don't know how much we actually do of the I don't know how much we actually see.
Well, not walking down the street and stuff.
We're not like holding the full story. I don't know.
Probably not in a large crowd. Maybe that's the thing. Which a lot of these things have just happened in mobs, in armies, in like those kinds of scenes. That's where he does it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the opposite. Like it's so disorienting to us because we're like, wait, what's going on? And that's just it. Like it doesn't seem abnormal to them.
To whom?
To the characters. Like they just take for granted that this is the way it is. And we're the only ones who like are like, this is crazy. Everyone's talking. What the hell is everyone talking about? What does this even matter?
But I think if the soldiers can probably follow a through line of their own conversation, which we aren't getting the pleasure of doing with any of these like disparate pieces. Because sometimes, tell me what you think, because sometimes they're having a conversation and, they're like the equivalent of regionalisms, right? There's things that they say that I'm like, I don't actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
From a cultural and linguistic perspective, what they're saying. But then there's a lot of times where I feel like actually, without the context, even somebody who knew that cultural value would not know what was going on.
Mm.
Like they're confusing regardless, even if you know the lingo.
Right.
That's what it seems like to me. But I want to do.
I don't know how much they actually know what's going on and how much they're just like.
But that means all of them are nonsense.
There's a lot of nonsense in that.
Yeah, for sure there is.
It seems like there's one of the big things of the book is obviously like people clamoring just to speak and be heard without actually having anything to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You mean they're not listening? Because it's the crowd scenes are highly nonlinear. Which sort of feels like a long shot, like a wide shot slowly going over a crowd,
Definitely.
where you just like would be getting like one thing, one thing, one thing,
Yeah.
one thing. But none of the characters are moving in that way through the crowd. Only we are.
Mm.
So I'm assuming that each of these is sort of fitting into their own conversational context in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we just don't have that context.
Right. So you just think it's intentionally disorienting?
Maybe not
opposed to-
just, but I do think it is intentionally disorienting. Or not intentionally disorienting, but he's trying to do something,
Mm.
which I don't think is necessarily to disorient us, but like to present the world as he thinks it is, like as he thinks it is.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is like because we're like detached,
Yeah.
we're able to see the absurdity.
Yeah.
Which actually like is inherent to their conversations, even if you had the context.
Many times, yes. Which is the time that you're like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah. Well, and I actually like mean on like a very, very broad level, like human beings are absurd.
Yeah, but linear, a lot of times are they less linear than I think they are, humans?
What I mean by that is like absurdism at its purest. Like when you start breaking apart things of like we're sitting on.
But that's again, you're only successfully doing that by stripping context.
Mhm.
So with context, it gets less absurd because you're like, oh, I see now where that fits,
Mhm.
and I feel like he deliberately withholds that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But you're saying that even if you were to hear everything, that it still wouldn't be linear and still wouldn't make sense?
No, I was just wondering if like it if part of that is it seems absurd to us, which actually like is a correct interpretation
I think that's probably also true.
of all of life.
I think that's probably true.
Like goes in with Andrew's realization at the end.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Either way, I don't think it's us, and I don't think it's random. Which for a while I was like, I'm missing the
Yeah.
boat here. Like, what are they talking? What is everybody talking
Yeah, definitely. Because you're like, this is supposed to be important, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to be really understanding this and following this, and
Yeah.
this is the story, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just abandoned.
Right. Even characters. Where are they now?
Yeah.
Where were we?
Yeah. That'll do, replied the sergeant major quietly.
Okay. The soldier said no more, and the talk went on.
What a lot of those Frenchies were taken today. And the fact is that not one of them had what you might call real boots on, said a soldier, starting a new theme. Oh, that's very helpful of you. They were no more than make-believes.
The Cossacks had taken their boots. They were clearing the hut for the colonel and carried them out. It was pitiful to see them, boys, put in the dancer. As they turned them over, one seemed still alive, and would you believe it, he jabbered something in their lingo.
They're plain folk lads, the first man went on. He was white as birch bark, and some of them are such fine fellows. You might think they were nobles.
Well, what do you think? They made soldiers of all classes there.
They don't understand our talk at all, said the dancer with a puzzled smile. I asked him whose subject he was, and he jabbered in his own way. Queer lot.
But strange, friends, continued the man who had wondered at their whiteness. The peasants at Mojaisk were saying that when they began burying the dead, where the battle was, well, those dead had been lying there for nearly a month, and, says the peasant, they lie as white as paper, clean, and not as much smell as a puff of powder smoke.
Was it from the cold? Asked someone.
You're a clever fellow. From the cold, indeed. Why, it was hot. If it had been from the cold, ours would not have rotted either. But, he says, go up to ours, and they're all rotten and maggoty. So, he says, we tie our faces up with kerchiefs and turn our heads away as we drag them off. We can hardly do it. But theirs, he says, are white as paper and not so much smell as a whiff of gunpowder.
All was silent.
It must be from their food, said the sergeant major. They used to gobble the same food as the gentry.
No one contradicted him.
That peasant near Mojaisk, where the battle was said, the men were all called up from 10 villages around, and they carted for 20 days, and still didn't finish carting the dead away. And as for the wolves, he says.
That was a real battle, said an old soldier. It's the only one worth remembering. But since that, it's only been tormenting folk.
Do you know, Daddy? Sure, this is a translation error. The day before yesterday, we ran at them. And my word, they didn't
You
let us...
also get all the daddies.
I know. Daddy. My word, they didn't let us get near before they just threw down their muskets and went on their knees. Pardon, they say. That's only one case. They say Platov took Polian himself twice. But he didn't know the right charm. He catches him and catches him. No good. He turns into a bird in his hands and flies away. And there's no way of killing him either.
You're a first-class liar, Kiselev, when I come to look at you.
Liar, indeed, it's the real truth.
If he fell into my hands when I caught him, I'd bury him in the ground with an aspen stake to fix him down. What a lot of men he's ruined.
Well, anyhow, we're going to end it. He won't come here again, remarked the old soldier, yawning.
Thanks for responding, Tolstoy, with the most linear fucking conversation.
Mhm.
That's totally followable.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The conversation flagged.
Never mind, basically.
Nope.
Usually it's just, never mind.
Probably I'm going to withdraw this in like 20 minutes, so maybe I won't say.
Mhm.
The conversation flagged, and the soldiers began settling down to sleep.
Look at the stars. It's wonderful how they shine. You would think the women had spread out their linen, said one of the men, gazing with admiration at the Milky Way. One of the women had spread out their linen?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like white sheets hanging.
Oh, like very, very, very far away.
Like, this shit is so clear, it's almost like there's a white sheet right here.
It's really bright. Like, we don't realize with the noise, with the light pollution.
It's so amazing when you can see the Milky Way. That's amazing. It's real. It's real. At times. That's a sign of a good harvest next year.
We shall want some more wood.
You warm your back. and you warm your back and your belly gets frozen. That is queer.
Oh Lord.
Well, what are you pushing for? Is the fire only for you? Kind of sprawling.
In the silence that ensued, the snoring of those who had fallen asleep could be heard. Others turned over and warmed themselves, now and again exchanging a few words. From a campfire 100 paces off came a sound of general merry laughter.
Hark at them roaring there in the fifth company, said one of the soldiers. Not a lot of them there are.
One of the men got up and went over to the fifth company.
They're having such fun, said he, coming back. 2 Frenchies have turned up, one's quite frozen and the other's an awful swaggerer. He's singing songs.
Well, go across and have a look.
And several of the men went over to the fifth company. End of chapter.
They're just gonna go look at some frozen French soldiers singing.
Why not?
Why not? Oh,
They're having a blast in the fifth company.
they really are. That is so dark that they're like, actually, everyone was having a great time. Because all the sad ones had died.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Great.
Either died or well, no, not the Russians. Russians, it would be died. Because I think I got the sense that a lot of the French were just deserting and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true of the Russians. So yeah, the merry, merry Russians that remain are the cream of the emotional crop.
Right, really.
Cool.
Chapter 9. The fifth company was bivouacking at the very edge of the forest. A huge campfire was blazing brightly in the midst of snow, lighting up the branches of trees heavy with hoarfrost.
About midnight, they heard the sound of steps in the snow of the forest and the crackling of dry branches.
There, lads, said one of the men.
They all raised their heads to listen, and out of the forest into the bright firelight stepped 2 strangely clad human figures, clinging to one another.
These were 2 Frenchmen who had been hiding in the forest. They came up to the fire, hoarsely uttering something in a language our soldiers did not understand. One was taller than the other. He wore an officer's hat and seemed quite exhausted. On approaching the fire, he had been going to sit down, but fell. The other, a short, sturdy soldier with a shawl tied round his head, was stronger. He raised his companion and said something, pointing to his mouth. The soldiers surrounded the Frenchman, spread a greatcoat on the ground for the sick man, and brought some buckwheat porridge and vodka for both of them.
I mean, this is quite welcoming. Right?
Yeah.
A little presumptuous to be like, I'm just going to get by the fire, guys. That's cool, right?
I think they're out of their heads. So there's yeah. But no, definitely.
less
But
funny.
also
It's less
presumptuous. Yeah, they're just
Do you never misinterpret things deliberately to
I
make
guess
them
not.
funny?
No.
I do. A lot. The exhausted French officer was Rambol! No way.
No.
I mean, he's saved. What do you mean, no?
Oh, but he's not well.
I know, but there's a fire.
That's true. Buckwheat porridge.
Yeah. Vodka. Porridge and vodka. I suppose if there's no milk, it's not gross.
I don't think the vodka is in the porridge.
No, but it's side by side.
Yeah.
It would be
This
really
thing-
gross if it was milk, porridge, and vodka.
A White Russian. Maybe it was.
A white Russian. No, that's not vodka.
Isn't it?
So,
Let's see. It's definitely not rum. It's not a dark.
sissy stuff.
I think it's vodka.
I can't remember. I was not a big vodka person.
It's vile.
It's horrifying only to be outdone by gin.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, gin is...
Gin is dangerous.
What are people doing with gin? You're right, vodka, Kahlua, and cream. I was only remember hearing the Kahlua and cream part.
Right.
And I was like, it's basically a shake.
When Morel had drunk some vodka and finished his bowl of porridge, he suddenly became unnaturally merry and chattered incessantly to the soldiers, who could not understand him. Rambal refused food and, resting his head on his elbow, lay silent beside the campfire, looking at the Russian soldiers with red and vacant eyes. Occasionally he emitted a long-drawn groan, and then again became silent. Morel, pointing to his shoulders, tried to impress on the soldiers the fact that Rambal was an officer and ought to be warned. A Russian officer who had come up to the fire sent to ask his colonel whether he would not take a French officer into his hut to warm him. And when the messenger returned and said that the colonel wished the officer to be brought to him, Rambal was told to go. He rose and tried to walk, but staggered and would have fallen had not a soldier standing by held him up.
So interesting that class is outstripping them being like enemies.
The fact that they're officers.
Yeah, there's like such a like his officership is elevating him in a way that's like in a weird relation. Like that's a I don't know. It's a lot to be like, oh, there's an officer here, so let's put him inside with the colonel if the colonel's okay with it. Like you'd think they'd treat their lower Russians better than they treat the higher French, but it's more important to be high, even if it means you're fucking French
Yeah.
when you're fighting the French.
Yeah.
You won't do it again, eh? Said one of the soldiers, winking and turning mockingly to Rambal.
Oh, you fool. Why talk rubbish, lout that you are, a real peasant. Came rebukes from all sides addressed to the jesting soldier.
They surrounded Rambal, lifted him on the crossed arms of two soldiers, and carried him to the hut. Rambal put his arms around their necks while they carried him and began wailing plaintively.
Oh, you fine fellows, my kind, kind friends, these are men. Oh, my brave, kind friends, said he. And he leaned his head against the shoulder of one of the men like a child.
He is going to defect any moment. He loves Russians.
Seriously.
Meanwhile, Morel was sitting in the best place by the fire, surrounded by the soldiers.
Morel, a short, sturdy Frenchman with inflamed and streaming eyes, was wearing a woman's cloak and had a shawl tied woman fashion round his head over his cap. He was evidently tipsy and was singing a French song in a hoarse, broken voice, with an arm thrown round the nearest soldier. Oh, dear. The soldiers simply held their sides as they watched him.
Now then, teach us how it goes. I'll soon pick it up. How is it? Said the man, a singer and a wag whom Morel was embracing.
Vive Henri IV! Vive ce roi d'Alliance! Sang Morel, winking. Ce diable à quatre!
Vivarica! Vive Serubaru! Se diabliaca! Repeated the soldier, flourishing his arm. And Se diabliaca. That's pretty good.
Yeah, actually.
We got Serubaru, value. Not bad. You read Bravo.
No. Flourishing his arm. You didn't finish that.
Oh, I didn't?
No.
Repeated the soldier, flourishing his arm and really catching the tune.
Yeah, catch it. Bravo! Ha ha! I'll get it one day. Ha! Rose their rough, joyous laughter from all sides.
Morel wrinkled up his face, laughing too.
Well, go on, go on.
Oh my god, I'm not going to.
Qui eut le triple talent de boire, de battre et d'être un ver galant. Yeah.
It goes smoothly too. Well now, Zalatiev.
Okay, Zalatiev brought out with effort. Okay, he drawled, laboriously pursing his lips. Le triptyque de bout de bas et de stravagala, he sang.
Fine! Just like the Frenchie. Do you want some more to eat?
Give him some porridge. It takes a long time to get filled up after starving.
They gave him some more porridge, and Morel, with a laugh, set to work on his third bowl. All the young soldiers smiled gaily as they watched him. The older men, who thought I love stuff like that. So that's like a Russian person doing French.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I really like thinking about how other
Yeah.
accented people hear other
Right.
accented people.
That's how.
Or
it is.
other languages.
Yeah, me too.
The older men, who thought it undignified to amuse themselves with such nonsense, continued to lie at the opposite end of the side of the fire, but one would occasionally raise himself on an elbow and glance at Morel with a smile.
They are men too, said one of them as he wrapped himself up in his coat. Even wormwood grows on its own root.
Oh Lord, how starry it is. Tremendous. That means a hard frost.
They all grew silent. The stars, as if knowing that no one was looking at them, began to disport themselves in the dark sky, now flaring up, now vanishing, now trembling. They were busy whispering something gladsome and mysterious to one another.
What do you mean no one was looking at them? He's just said how starry it is.
We're looking at them.
I literally just acknowledged you.
No one has.
Oh.
No one there. Not
It's late, but
Yeah. Do you want to call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta see. I don't know the next step of my bread, so I gotta. I need my computer back.
Oh.
I think it's time to shape them.
Pretty excited about this.
Them, it's one.
Pretty excited about it.
I'm pretty excited. This is going better than any of the previous ones.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because of the bubbles? Let there be bugs.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what we're gonna read. Yay.
Good night.
Good night.
So long.
Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Adieu.
Bye.
Ta-ta.